Hi guys, welcome to Didedi's Crafty Corner. Today I'm going to share with you the printer that I use to do my digital images. I've had a few questions about this recently on a video that I just posted. Now I own two printers. One is a deskjet, which you cannot use for digital images. The ink will smear if you're using alcohol markers. So if you're using an alcohol marker, really the only thing that you can use for digital images is a laser printer. Now, when I was doing research to get my laser printer, my biggest concern was not the price, but whether it would handle cardstock. I needed it to handle thin cardstock like COPIC paper, as well as 80-pound cardstock and even the occasional 110-pound cardstock. Now I don't use 110-pound cardstock when I'm coloring as a rule because I like to layer things up. But I will use 80-pound Nina, and I always, as you guys know, I love to use my COPIC friendly digital paper, which is a 60-pound paper weight, not cardstock weight. So it's thicker than paper, not as thick as your 80-pound cardstock. Okay, with that being said, this is the printer that I purchased. Now this is the Brother I'll give you all the numbers. It's the Brother MFC L2700DW, and it's their laser printer, all-in-one wireless printer, right? I chose this one because you could scan. Now, even though this is a black ink only, no color, but it'll scan in color. So if I wanted to scan a photo or something into my computer or back to my phone, I can do that with this machine. But it won't print in color, okay? But it will scan. You can scan something in color to put it on your computer, and it looks wonderful. Now this machine, and this is why it took me a few days to get back with you guys, this machine has a newer model. The bonus to that is that the new machine is a lower price. When I picked mine up, I actually got it for the $200 mark. It's now going for $273 on Amazon. And the other thing I recommend, and this is what I did, when I was looking for mine, I went to a local Office Depot and a Staples at that time, but Office Depot was better. They had a bigger selection. And I took all of my copy paper, all of my cardstock with me. And they have the ones that you can use in the store that you can print out their samples with or whatever. I put my own cardstock in and tested each one of the machines to see if it would handle my cardstock. This one was the only one that would. That's why I chose this one. So when you guys started asking questions, I wanted to make sure that the new model, which I'm going to show you in just a second, the new model would handle the cardstock as well. So it took me a few days to go and do this for you, and it does. I went and I tested it. It does handle all cardstock up to 110 pounds. Now, the only issue with that is sometimes it can misfeed, and that's true with any printer when you're dealing with cardstock. You can load it in the back, you can load it in the front. I have better times with the drawer. You just pull the drawer out, and but you want to make sure that the cardstock is flat, and it works better if you're only loading that one piece of cardstock. Don't have your drawer full of paper. Those are just a few hints that I can give you. The other thing is that it is going to come out flat, or it's going to come out rounded on the edges. Again, this doesn't bother me. I can unround it, but I'm going to show you what I mean. So this one I printed out on my desk print to show you. Move my coffee out of the way. As you can see, it's perfectly flat, right? You can also see how that ink smeared? Now you can't tell it so much over here with the pumpkins. I can, you won't be able to tell, but you'll also notice there's not a lot of crispness in the black, and that's because the black has been maneuvered by the alcohol ink. Here you can see. you can see that this light color blue here has turned this black in the middle. And that's why you don't want to use a jet printer. You don't want to use a jet printer for alcohol ink. It works well for a lot of other things, but not alcohol ink, okay? But you'll notice the paper is super flat. When you run it through one of these printers, it's going to curl. See how it's kind of rounded and curled? But very easy, super, super easy. Just turn it the other way, right? And just uncurl it. You guys know I have arthritis, right? So this takes a hot minute for me. Just uncurl it. Just send it back the other way, and then you'll get a flat piece of paper, okay? So I'm going to show you how this does not go through in just a second. How this black is not going to transfer to the blue. So I can only show you this one because this is the one that I chose when I spent months, guys, literally months. Now this one, the HP deskjet, this one that does do colors, I love this one for all my digital papers that I download. It's fantastic. The colors are great. It's like $39. It's super cheap. I'll put it in the description below. But I use that for all my digital paper downloads or colored things that I download. And it works fantastic, but not for coloring on, not for alcohol markers. And I'll show you that. I'll put that one below. Super inexpensive. All right, so I got this one for $1.99. It's now going for $2.73. But this is the one that I tested repeatedly, and I tested cheap $2,000 machines. This was the machine that handled the cardstock every single time. That's why I purchased it. Like I said, I got it for around the $200 mark. All right, now they have a new model, and the new model is MFCL2710DW. All right, we're going to click on it. The good news is this one is only $139. Yes, it does all the things the other one does. It prints, it scans, it's only in black, it scans to color, and I've tested it even though I don't own it. I've had mine for years and mine still works perfectly. It does all of the things mine does. It does have one little key thing that's a little bit different that I'll tell you about. But it handles the cardstock just fine. Now this one is smaller than mine, but it's just a little smaller than mine, but it still works perfectly. It does all the things that mine did. Like I said, I went to Office Depot and I tested it for you guys. So it works just fine. By the way, at Office Depot, it was more expensive than this. So just letting you know that. With Prime, this is a one-day shipment. So that's pretty awesome. The ink is the same laser ink. You know, it's a cartridge that you put in. It's a big cartridge. You can get one with a smaller amount of ink or a larger amount of ink. It just depends on what you want to spend. Here's where the key is that's different. Apparently, from what I've read, this one has a chip in the ink cartridges that you get for it now. It may be just an Amazon thing. I'm not sure because I didn't read about it at Office Depot. But I guess it stops the printing even if once it gets questionable. So once you're getting low on ink, it will just stop the printing, right? Whereas mine will keep going, but the printing won't look as great. So I replace mine whenever it gets low anyway. That wouldn't be a problem for me. I don't think it would be a problem for you either. But I just wanted to let you know that that is kind of what that does. So for $139, you can get a machine. So if this is going to be like a Christmas gift or something, guys. The other nice thing that you may not know is you need a laser printer to do what's the word I'm looking for? Heat transfer for the shiny paper. Foil, to do foiling. So if you wanted to use your heat warmer, what is that thing called? You put things through, laminator, you would need to have laser ink, an image like this. You could use an image like this. You could use this sentiment, right? Put your foil over it, run it through your laminator, and this ink would allow it to heat up and you would have a foiled image. So you do need to have a laser printer for that as well. So keep that in mind. If you're already using a laser printer for that, then you already have what you need, okay? I hope this, guys, helps you. If you have any questions, you can always email me. I can, my email's always below, and I can talk you through whatever you might need to know better than sitting here writing it down underneath the description. But this is the actual machine. Go back. This is the same version. This is the new version of the machine I have, but the one that I do have is still for sale. It's just a lot more expensive. So, by the way, this is what the cartridges look like, right? I'm using the high density one, the one that gives you more, because I can go a whole year with my digital images and not run out of ink. So for me, that's the better value. You cannot with this new machine. I only use their brand ink anyway, Brother brand. But with the new machine, you cannot use off brands. You have to use their brand. Okay, so that's one of the other things that's with the new machine. But still, to get that machine at that price is a pretty good deal. So again, mine is the MFCL2700DW, and the newer version of that one is the MFCL2710DW, and it's wireless everything. So I hope this, guys, helps you out. I'm going to move this aside now and just show you. I'm going to grab that blue marker that smeared our black here, and I'm just going to show you. I think I used B12 maybe. That I don't remember. And I'm going to go right around this edge right here, and you can see it's nice and crisp. We're not pulling any blue away from the edges. There's no smearing of the black lines, and we're going to go right on over. Do it a couple times even. All right. And now you can see the difference. This is why you want a laser printer. See how crisp that is? See how smeared that is? And that's why you want the difference. That's what the difference is. All right. I hope this helps you guys. I know that when I researched it, I had to do a lot of legwork to find the one that would hold the cardstock that we would use. And like I said, the only way that I could figure that out was to go and personally play with them. And I did this over a month of times. I would just take my cardstock, I would play with a few, I'd make my notes, I'd go back. You know, I didn't want to sit there and hog up the space for hours, which is, you know, I do hours of research, so you know what I'm saying. So this is the one I chose. I've had it for a few years. It works fantastic. It's never failed me. It is wireless, which means that you can use it with your iPhones or iPads or wireless devices, as well as plug it in if you're using a digital, you know, stick or something like that. And it's a little tricky to set up. You need to set it next to your router the first time. So if you're going to find your wireless, you know, that way, just set it next to your router and then go put it in the room you're going to put it in. The other thing is, it works if you have different networks like I do. Both your phone or your iPad have to be on the same network as your copier, right? But that's true with even your Apple remotes and all that stuff. If you switch between networks, you just have to make sure you go back to that network when you're going to print something, or it won't print. That's just all there is to it. So if you're familiar with that, and like I said, if you're not and need help, just email me. I can go into more details if you email me. It doesn't, you know, it's a longer way to write. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you a little later on today. We're going to play with some dies. I hope you're enjoying your Sunday, and I'll see you soon. Bye.